Hello, everybody, and welcome to the G12 Network, the very best NCAA Football 14 online dynasty around. And who else could introduce a G12 better than me? That's right, the coach. Now, thank you for supporting everybody at G12. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What is up, G12? Welcome. It's Wednesday night, week 3. Game of the week. Are you guys hyped for this or what? So we got Hardcore and Penn State versus Yofi and Notre Dame. I'm wearing my Notre Dame hat. No, forget that crap, Roddy Mig. Showing my bald head. I'm a Tennessee fan. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. Let's be real. I can't do that. That's my work hat that I bought when I was like 12. So, E-Migs, are you excited, my friend? Are you ready to go?
I am. I feel like it's a real football game. I mean, luckily it's not one of my teams. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
like the
Yeah.
the luxury I have. But yeah, no, it feels like we have a really big game to watch, and I know there's gonna be a ton of hype. I think Yofi's chat was going off earlier. It's got 60 people in there right now.
I know, it's
Hardcore's getting
crazy.
ready. I think there's gonna be a huge turnout. I can't wait, man.
Yeah. So, man, I think this is a game we've all been looking forward to. It's kind of a weird start time, 8:15, but 9:15 Eastern. But that's okay. We don't have to start on the on the zeros or the 30, and that's all right. So, yeah. What are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen tonight, man?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this today. I definitely think Yofi's the underdog. Like as much as Yofi's as much as good as we've seen Yofi do and how many games that we've seen him win, I still think he's the underdog. Obviously, he lost, so until he wins, he's the underdog. So I was thinking, how can he win? And I was looking back at his 2 games he played. I think he scored 27 in both, and that's not going to be enough tonight, right? Like he's gonna have to score a lot more points. It's felt like his offense not necessarily got stagnant, but just there's been times where it just wasn't explosive, wasn't getting things going. And if this is the same hardcore we've seen last year, he's going to have to flip that switch today because he's going to have to score a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Like as we look over this week's kind of stat sheet, right? Um, the series was done 9-1. We know last year it was an Oklahoma versus Notre Dame game, and it wasn't a very close game, right? It came down to it. It was a chess mess early, but Hardcore pulled away. It was 35-14, if memory serves me correct. That was a long time ago. Um, you know, so yeah, is 27 going to be enough? I don't think so. Like you got to get to the 30s, the high 30s or 40s probably to pull this game out. Could we see a shocker and have a defensive battle? Maybe. I don't really see that. Knowing these two guys, turnovers is where it's going to be for me, right? Like
Yeah.
both of these guys can get turnovers, but Yofi's a little bit more susceptible to give the ball away. Um, I don't think we're going to see any screenplays tonight, right? Like, because these guys will snag those in a hurry. Both
Both
of
of
these
them,
guys
yeah,
can.
yeah.
So, yeah, man, it should be a great competitive game, and yeah, I hope it lives up to the hype, right? Hottie keeps saying it's going to be a blowout. I don't know why he wants to jinx this game to be a blowout, and I have no clue who he expects to win by so much.
He's not giving
But
that away. He's just saying
he's
it's
not giving
gonna.
that away. He's just going to say it's a blowout. But I hope it's a close one, and I hope it lives up to the hype. Yeah, I think I picked these two guys to end up facing each other again in the national championship, and we'll see if that comes true or not. Right now, it's so far Yofi's made it through the first 2 weeks, and I had him losing this game, and then Hardcore losing to Thrizzy. Now I'm not too sure if the man's going to lose. Bert and I kind of talked about that. Fantasy kind of talked about that before. Surely he's got to lose to somebody, right? Eventually, the numbers would say he's going to lose a game. Can it be tonight? I think it's very, very possible it could be tonight.
Yeah, I think if you're going down the schedule saying who can beat him, this is obviously the first one that's going to jump out at you. Um, But like you said, I think it's going to be turnovers, and it's kind of lame to say it. I think that's kind of every one of these games, right? Because all of these coaches are pretty much really good on offense. So every game almost has a potential to be a shootout. So it's just if you get 1 or 2 stops, and then if you can get a turnover, it just feels like that's a difference in almost every one of these games.
Yeah, and I think Yofi had 2 turnovers against Stoner, right? And then I'm not too sure how many he had last week or if any at all
I know
against Nasty.
I know like
He at
DeBlanco
least
had
had
another.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was at least one, right? So he's really got to limit that and not force the ball. I expect him to run the ball a lot tonight. If he can get that going, I think that's going to be super important for him to be able to use the play action. In hardcore, I think we're going to see the same things out of him, right? He's going to bring the middle linebacker from time to time. Uh, a lot of pressure right up the middle. Uh, you're going to see some funky formations, some sweeps, some misdirection out of him, and he's going to throw a lot of. Both these guys are going to audible hot route the crap out of plays,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a chess match early, and they're going to try to fill each other out. So I wouldn't expect much scoring in the first quarter, but for it to pick up as the game goes along, like we saw last time.
I couldn't agree with you more than a million percent. Like you said, it's gonna. We saw it last game, the last time they played in the last season. It was there was plays where the clock. I know when I played Yofu, we got a uh, delay a game because we were both just audibling. It happened a few times, nearly with Hardcore and Yofi. They were just audibling so much, and it was so fun to see because each guy knew exactly what the other guy was trying to do, and then and it was like you said, it was a defensive battle. Then it kind of got away from Yofi. I think he ended up scoring a garbage time touchdown to make it closer, but it was pretty much all Hardcore. I would say second quarter on, right?
Yeah, and that's what we've seen the pattern, right? Hardcore has a close first quarter, and then you kind of see the second quarter on, really middle, late second quarter, he starts just to pull away. So Yofi's really got to control it. He's got to take the punch um, when things start to get out of hand and keep in the game. We saw last night was an example of that. Baker got on Nasty early last night, and he just could never
Yeah.
get it going. By the time he finally got it going, it was too late. The game was out of hand, and the frustration came, and he took him out of his game early. Baker did, and that was an advantage. So, who's going to take the blow first, and how are they going to respond from that? We think about Monday night, Kaz was the opposite. He took the body blows. He took what felt like a knockout punch and was down early to D's, but was able to keep composure, control himself, and have the comeback. So we'll see what we have tonight. Hopefully, we'll get a close one and we'll have a classic matchup. So we're obviously going to start here. We're at Penn State in Happy Valley, Notre Dame. So that's a little bit of an advantage. It looks like Penn State probably lost a toss. Looks like Notre Dame's going to kick, and Hardcore is going to get the ball. And we're off, folks. Or I'm sorry, I reversed that. I looked at that wrong, and it's strike that, reverse it. So it's going to be Penn State kicking off, and Notre Dame to receive.
Here we go. Got the whiteout.
Definitely the wideout, a top 10 matchup. Number 5 Penn State, number 6 Notre Dame. And it's just going to be out of the back of the end zone. No return for Notre Dame there. And here we go. Yofi with the ball first to try to put some points up on the board, starting at their own 25.
First thing I'm looking at for Yofi here is we saw Kyron Williams just kind of take over last week and explode. So I want to see if he found something there with Kyron Williams.
Yeah, and how is he going to handle Book tonight? And right off the bat, it's a handoff to Williams, 7-yard gain. So a good start for Notre Dame. That's what you got to do on first down.
Yeah, great pickups.
So it'd be the ball at the 32. And just remember, guys, as we go on tonight, Emigs is going to put 4 guys on Twitter for you guys to vote for the player of the game. So as you're watching, be thinking about that. Give us suggestions in the chat of who you think's going to who's been the best player. So it's going to be Ian Book. A little bit of an audible here. Book drops back. Oh, and he's going to take a big hit. As we talked about that pressure up the middle, it's going to be a 5-yard sack. Make it 3rd and 8.
Absolutely. Hardcore's probably one of the best coaches with his linebackers. Like you mentioned, the middle. For me, what sticks out is his play on the edge. He's really good at disguising blitzes, dropping back into coverage, and then like we know about the screen interceptions.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to use her, that linebacker, middle linebacker. And there he comes. There's the pressure again. Yofi dumps it off, but it's going to fall incomplete. So a great start for Penn State. It's going to be a 3-and-out, ball at the 27, and that's what we're talking about. So Yofi goes 3-and-out. Can he take the blow, the body blow there? So it's an early punch for Penn State and hardcore, and we'll see how Yofi can bounce back here on defense.
Yeah, huge play already by hardcore.
An important punt. It's going to fall short, and Penn State's going to have a great field position, and it's going to be a roll to the right down to the 40-yard line. So here we go early. Great field position for Penn State. You know hardcore was he's got to be happy with this start, and Yofi, you can kind of see a little dejected already with that body language. We'll see if he can keep his composure here and maybe get a stop holding to a field goal at least.
It's about all he can do now with this field position they're in.
Yeah, I mean, just not the kind of start Yofi wanted for sure. Just not a great punt. It didn't land. And here we go with that motion. It's going to be – the contain is going to roll out to the right. It's going to be about a 12-yard gain for Nick Jordan, so a great start for Penn State.
Nike Jordan.
28. Nike Jordan, sorry. That's right. We always forget we have these hilarious names now. So remember, guys, as you see these weird names, you're like, who is that guy? You can pick a guy and join a team. For any of the 12 streamers, they can add your name to their team. Just let them know. And it's going to be, once again, just a little sweep out of this kind of wing bone set, and it's going to be a 6-yard gain to make it 2nd and 4.
Macdub pointing out he runs that play first play every time.
But nobody can stop it, it seems, right? So
I think that's one of those plays you're like guaranteed a yard. They're just never gonna tackle you in the backfield.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 2nd and 4 now. 5:20 left on the clock and counting. Down to 5:10 here in the first. We've seen Notre Dame already have the ball, go 3-and-out and punt it. And now Penn State's driving, so it's just going to be a heavy dose of the run game. Once again, Nike Jordan on this sweep, and he's going to get inside the 5, so a great gain, 19 yards on the play, and now we're inside the 5.
Yeah, that misdirection run, that's the second time we've seen it. It's fooling Yofi. Big pickup there.
So you can see this is definitely Yofi's stream that we're catching right now. It's going to be a run right up the middle. It gets a little bogged down. Maybe gets to about the 1. It's a 2-yard gain. Mo Sneaker now. So we got Nike Jordan and Mo Sneaker taking the runs. So let's see if this goal on defense can get it. It's going to smash it right up the middle. Falls forward just short. So it's going to be 3rd and goal. So 2 really good defensive plays there by Yofi.
Yeah, running that 3-4, making sure that 7-man front's loaded.
Hurries up again. This time it's a counter, and Nike Jordan takes over that first drive, and it's going to be a touchdown early for Penn State and hardcore to take a 6-0 lead. We see the replay here. Just like you said, that counter sweep, just nothing there for Yofi. Too much action, too many things to worry about, and it just opens up. As hardcore would say, like the Red Sea, Moses parting the Red Sea there. Great blocking by the Penn State offensive line.
Yeah, and like you said, not a great start here by Yofi going 3-and-out and then giving up a touchdown.
Yeah, you don't want to get the ball first and then go 3-and-out. That's for sure. We get the weather update. It is a cool one in the state of Pennsylvania here in Happy Valley, 27 degrees. And 4:22, ball at the 25, and it's going to be Williams again. And Kyron Williams is going to get a 4-yard gain, ball to the 29.
It's got to get something here. Maybe try hitting Williams in space on a pass. He had that big pass last week.
So he is going to drop back with Book. Sees the pressure is going to be wide open. Nobody over there, and it's going to be a first down. So he gets a 12-yard reception there. Ian Book with the first completion of the game. And, man, that's an important one, right? Like, he needed to get that first down, move the sticks. He's staying calm and composed over there. He's not freaking out. He knows if he can get some points here, he'll be in fine shape.
Yeah, already a better drive too, picking up a first down. Now he's moving the ball on this second set of chains.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3-yard gain for Con Williams. He's going to go to hurry up here. Drop back pass. It's going to be another quick pass, and it's going to be a complete one. And hurry up still. So another first down for Yofi. So now he's starting to get in a little bit of a groove, a little bit of rhythm. And in this hurry up, he's got the defense he wants to see out of Hardcore, and he likes the matchup here. So he's going to stay in these 3 wideouts. And he's going to change it up. So we're talking about that chess game. What's he see? What's he like? It looks like he's audible to a run here.
See, and yet Hardcore, it's a run right, and Hardcore just brings that linebacker in. He knows it.
Right in the gap, and it's going to be another check for Yofi. He's trying to maybe fake audible. He's going to switch it up, get away from that middle linebacker, but you can just see domination from that middle linebacker. Just shoots the gap, brings it down in the backfield, and it's going to be a 1-yard loss.
And Hardcore just knew, like, it felt like he knew exactly what was happening. Even if he ran it left, he was on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, there was no getting out of that. It seemed like Yofi was set up to pass. He audibled into that run, and maybe just audibled into a bad play there. But plenty of time. Rolls out right, but it's another no gain. They say it's a 1-yard rush, but it was second 11. It's 3rd and 11, so maybe just a couple of inches there for Book. Just nowhere to go with the football.
Yeah, it looks like he had one of those guys out there on the edge, but maybe he didn't want to risk, because we know how good Hardcore is with that user.
All right, we got Q, or Killed, as we say, with the 1-month subscription. We appreciate you. We all know we're about Q, but,
It's
if you want to call her Clyde. Is it Clyde?
No,
Did
it's
I
not.
say Killed?
No.
It's,
Yofi
you
accidentally
doing?
he accidentally
Clyde.
calls her Clyde.
Clyde, yeah, every time. She says nobody in NCAA
Ever.
can pronounce her name right, so they just started calling her Q, and it feels good when she hears Killed. So,
And there's a big turnover.
and there it is, right? This is what we talked about as we were talking about Q. We miscommentating on the turnover, but there's the pick. So just, and you can feel Hardcore's been excited, looking forward to this game. Had 2 bye weeks, and Audie Toddy is feeling good about his. It's going to be a blowout pick. He didn't say who it was going to be a blowout with, but a bad start for Yofi. He needs to get a stop here for sure.
Absolutely. Can't come out getting nothing on 2 possessions, giving up touchdowns.
It's going to be a run up the middle here as kind of gets bogged down. So Mo Sneakers gets a 4-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd and 6. 142 left in the first quarter, excuse me. And things are setting pretty right now for Penn State. Just a good start. They get a 3-and-out on the first drive, get a turnover on the second drive, get points early, great field position, able to run the ball.
Wow.
And it's going to be Nike Jordan again, and man, he's out in space. He's going to be to the 20, down to the about to the 22-yard line there. So a huge gain. As you're going to see the replay here, just nobody home for Notre Dame. He's bringing the guys in the middle. They all get bogged down, and Nike Jordan gets into space. Just nobody there. Notre Dame able to run him down, but not after the damage is already done.
Yofi needs to make something happen here. It's going to get scary fast. Howdy Toddy might be right.
It's just
Wow.
all Nike Jordan in space again. Now to the 10, the 5 leaps.
What?
Is he going to get in the end zone? No, he's going to call him out on the 1-yard line.
How's it
We got the touchdown, but
Why does it say 2
was on the
touchdowns?
line.
Did you see that? The stat came up and it said he had 2 touchdowns.
I'm not too sure what happened there, but they're going to call him short, and it's just going to be.
And there's Big E
options up
Miggs.
the middle, and there's and Big E Miggs finally gets on the board. He hasn't had much to do tonight, besides hand the ball off to Nike Jordan and let him run, but he steals a touchdown from him. Dirty E Miggs in there getting the stealing touchdowns.
Do
He'll
what you
take
gotta
it,
do.
baby.
You do what you gotta
do. Indeed. And so it's going to be a devastating start for Yofi, 14-0. But if we've learned anything in G12, okay, guys, don't go away. We're just getting started. There's still tons of time left. Anything can happen.
John, 2
in a
nights
user
ago.
game.
2 nights
Hey.
ago, we saw a 14-point comeback. It was 14-0.
We saw it's the exact same situation, right? And D's ate up all of the first quarter, and it's going to be a great return here for Williams. He's going to get out to the 30, so this one he takes out, and Chris Tyree, with the 36-yard return, and we know Chris Tyree's got that speed, so he's able to use it, and gets a good return now to the 31-yard line. So better field position here, a little bit better field position for Notre Dame, but they've got to get something going here. Williams just nowhere to go as Hardcore is just keying on the run now at this point. It's going to force Book maybe to throw this ball Hardcore is going to make Yofi try to make some decisions here in the throwing game, I think.
And that might play right into Hardcore's hands too. He's deadly with that linebacker.
They are going to drop back in coverage here. It's going to be Bradley Lindsey over the middle, a 40-yard reception. It's going to be 3rd and 6 now. Ball up to the 35-yard line. We might see one more play here before the quarter, as Yofi is going to get out quick on the ball. So this is probably going to be our last play.
Big 3rd down here.
Big 3rd down again. You just got to feel it. He's going to go deep. He's just setting back in coverage. No pressure. He comes open, though. Great throw. And Austin Jr., just a dot there by Yofi, was covered up. Austin Jr. just kind of backed up, got a little bit open, and he just put it right where he needed to be.
That's something we've seen a lot from this Notre Dame team. This offensive line, he just has over 10 seconds to sit back there.
And then we see more room. Austin Jr. again, able to get into space in this, and this is exactly what Yofi needed. We talked about he needed to respond, get some points on the board. 2 great passes. And like you said, just no pressure. Hardcore talks about dropping everybody back in coverage. Only had 2 rushing there. Everybody was back, but Austin Jr. was able to find the spot in the zone. I think Hardcore is going to take a 14-0 first quarter, but man, Yofi on the move, ball to the 8.
John, were you in that stream when I was playing Hardcore, for a scrimmage?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So I found that, and this was a really long time ago, I'm sure he's changed a lot of things up and he's gotten better, but I found that once I stopped running and just went 5 wide, I was able to score. He beat me handedly, but I was able to score. I was able to keep up with him once I started throwing the ball. So maybe Yofi can figure that out too.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. It's kind of interesting. He did drop so many people back there. We don't usually see that, but it's going to be Book here. It's going to be a dump off to Williams, just nothing going. And this is where it can be tough to get points, right? The field has shrunk at this point. You're inside the 10. Play selection is super important right here.
And not going to say that I'm happy to see Yofi struggle in the red zone, but a little taste of his own medicine.
Little taste of his own medicine, that's right. You can see the schedule. One more game this week, tomorrow night, guys. It's going to be 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right up the gut. What are we talking about that middle pressure? I mentioned that middle pressure. He's going to bring the pressure up the middle. You got to be ready for it. And Ian Book takes a devastating sack to move it back to the 16-yard line. And he's got to get a touchdown on this throw. No first downs with that ball being at the 8. So here we go, 3rd and goal. Book steps back. Plenty of time. Now rolls, just nowhere to throw the ball, though. He gets eat up, picks up a couple. And it's going to be 4th and goal, so the decision time here for Yofi. And it looks like he's going to kick the field goal. I like this call. You got to get some points on the board, right?
Yeah. So Penn State's going to get the ball at half, right?
Correct. Yeah, they did kick the ball. They won and deferred to the second half, and yeah, absolutely. So it's not going to be a 2-for-1 situation for Yofi to steal some points, but it's going to have to be one of those. You got to get a stop there early in the second half. So here we go. It's going to be Nike Jordan again, and this guy is just making every play for Penn State, and it's going to be to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. He houses it, and here we go. Hottie Potty said blowout, and I'm talking that was a 109-yard kick return. Raise your hand in the chat if you're returning that. Most of us are letting that thing go to the back of the end zone and taking our ball at the 25, but this man is insane and is taking the ball and housing it.
Like Saquon Barkley. Reminds me a lot of that game against Ohio State.
Just a rock-solid start for Penn State and Hardcore, and that has got to be demoralizing if you're Yofi. You're just sitting there being like, the man's good. I don't what else do you do?
Yeah, not even giving him a chance to do that.
You know, he kicked it almost as far as you could kick it. I mean, that was probably a 109-yard kickoff return. And you know that Hardcore's getting hype in his stream right now, and Yofi's just trying to figure out something. And this could help. Here comes Williams right up the middle. He's going to keep going, keep digging to get yards up to the 45-yard line, so a huge gain there. Keeping his composure.
I want to see him go back to Kyron Williams. We saw him have a huge game last week. We know he can do it against top defenses. So
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be William on the sweep, and there was just nothing there. You can't go east and west, right? You got to go north and south, as we just saw the big difference there. Looks like too much speed for this Penn State defense, just sealing off that line and not letting you get outside.
Yeah, and I know now they both have their game faces on, but in between plays,
and here we go. It's going to be a deep bomb. Austin Jr. having a great late first quarter, great second quarter. He's going to find himself open again, and I think that's where we're seeing the most success in this passing game. Staying in the pocket, letting things come open, especially when Hardcore has been in that zone. That looked like a little bit of man there and was able to burn him deep.
Yeah,
just a good play called by Yofi.
Needs to get in the end zone here. Can't settle for 3, right? It's already down 21-3.
He's got to convert these, and right there he's going to be open. It's going to be right, and that's exactly what he needed. A great response, a quick response to get that 7 back that he lost from that kick return, and just another dot by Ian Book. You can see the replay here. Once again, just staying in the pocket. Wright comes open in that cover 2 zone. Nobody home. Bam. Got it.
Yeah, and as always, plenty of time back there. That I do think we're going to have an award for offensive line, and I think I wanted to make it just as a unit, and I think it's obvious who's going to win it as of now.
All right, here comes Nakia Jordan again. He's going to take it to the outside, and oh my God, are you kidding me? This guy's having an unbelievable game. I would almost call it right now Nakia Jordan so far as my player of the game, far none.
He's on the watch list.
He's on the watch list for sure, and I think he might be at the top unless something crazy changes. But right now, what Yofi's got to find a way to do is get a stop right here.
Yeah, seen him score in his past 2 drives. He just needs to figure out a way to get a stop. 7 points from special teams, so.
Yeah, and we're going to go triple option here now to Nakia Jordan and E-Migs with a great pitch. Yep. Big E-Migs right there with the pitch. To Nakia Jordan, it's going to be second and 1 on the 9-yard gain. Ball to the 41.
You know I'm a big option guy. I'm a big triple option guy, so we worked on that.
Yeah, we talk about it in spurts. It works so well if you can get it timed right. You know, if you're relying on that. And here comes Jordan on the outside again. This guy's unstoppable. Who is going to stop this guy in this league? I'm not too sure. We got to have somebody with some speed. It's not like Notre Dame is trash. So let's look at this Nittany Lions schedule. We got Rocky Top Gaming next week. That should be a great one, followed by Kaz Cray in week 5. Then Thrizzy, that big one with Thrizzy in week 6. Doesn't get any easier with Baker Vision, who we saw light it up last night. So not an easy stretch there. Then it goes Fantasy, I think, was Nasty was next in those next 2 weeks. So doesn't get any easier for Hardcore after this Yofi matchup. And I don't think there really is an easy week, in my opinion.
No, not really. And I think Yofi's got to start sending his D-line either in QB contain just to watch that edge, because he's just getting killed on the edge. There's nobody out there.
Yeah, and he's really got 2 down linemen, and he's trying to stick that end out and try to get some contain. But, man, he's making it tough with the formations, right? It's these formations that's putting him in some bad spots. As you can see, he's trying to control these interior linemen and trying to contain it. The ball pops out, and there we go. Notre Dame got it. And that's exactly what he needed, right? We talked about he needs a stop. He needs a mistake. He needs something to go right, and right there it is. So that's a huge turnover right here before half.
And I'm not going to change my tune. Fumbles are lucky. I mean, you can make that hit on a guy 10 times, and it's just so random in this game if they're going to fumble or not. So, but that's what you need in this. You need some luck right now.
Need some luck, but you got to get something going on offense, and it's not going to be with Williams on that play, a 2-yard loss. 3:06 left, so plenty of time here for Yofi to run his offense. No reason to hury up. Might want to try to drain as much clock as he can to not give any points up late, but really you just got to worry about getting points here. Oh, and there it was. And the cardinal rule, Yofi should have known it. He throws a screen, and you can't do it. He knows that you can't throw a screen on him, and you can't throw a screen on hardcore. It's just not going to turn out well. And he just sits on it.
Yeah, he had it right from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's just he sees it, and he goes with it. He's always going to, especially to that side. That's the side of the linebacker he's going to control. And Yofi does the same thing. They're just going to eat that for lunch all day long.
And if I'm playing hardcore, I'm just not calling it. You know what I mean? I'm just
take
not
it out
calling
of your playbook.
Yeah,
I mean, you might as well before the game take that play out of your playbook. If you're playing Yofi, take that play out of your playbook. Pretend like it doesn't exist. And I think Nasty makes a good point. I think Jordan's a little gassed, and maybe that's why we saw that fumble there. So that's a good point. I know that Rocky's also sandbagging for next week, saying he's going to lose by 35. So it's going to be the read option, and this time Big E makes kind of tries to get to the outside, but it's nothing doing. So it's going to be 2 plays, no gain. It's going to be 3rd and 10 ball at the 31. So the interception the fumble doesn't end up hurting hardcore as he gets it right back with that turnover. So we're even on turnovers at 1 apiece. So we talked about that at the beginning, how important that is, and right now we're breaking even.
Yeah, huge missed opportunity for Yofi there. And like I said, it's a little lucky getting the fumble. So, like, he can make a play getting an interception. It's just different when you have that kind of gift just fall in your lap. My dog.
It's better than a kid. Easier to control, I promise. Oh, and it's a big sack for Yofi. It's going to be an 8-yard loss. He dropped back in coverage, was able to get some pressure up the middle, so now it's going to be a field goal attempt. And it's going to be a long one, ball at 39. So this is going to be a heck of a kick if he can get it here for Penn State.
This is like just about that threshold.
This is going to be George 49er, I'm pretty sure, is who he's got. And it's going to be a kick right up the middle, and it's going to be good. So it's a straight kick for hardcore, going to make it 24-10, keeps it a 14-point game. So hard to top that. I mean, when you lose one in a turnover and you can still not lose anything off of it, not give up any points, get it right back, and then get some points. That's a big win.
And on the flip side, Yofi able to finally hold him to 3 there, but he wasn't able to convert and get any points. So this could be a totally different game if he could have somehow scored that last drive.
Yeah, he's still got a chance to put a touchdown, make it a 1-score game here. So that's super important. I mean, that holding him to a field goal there was huge. That was a big sack, 1:42 left. He's going to run it with Williams up the middle. He does have a couple of timeouts to use. He's going to hurry up here. Ball close to the 30. Should be about the 29, yeah. And it's going to be Book here, still lined up in the shotgun.
Stay away from the right side of the field, man.
And he just barely missed that sack. And it's going to be a missed tackle, and it's going to be...
Nice play. Skowronek.
Yeah, Skowronek, who's going to step out of bounds there. I never want to mess that up. Every time I call Yofi's game, I'm like, Skowronek.
But so you're watching hardcore pre-play. Like, I just run everything to the left side.
Left.
He's
going to. That's what I'm talking about. He controls that middle linebacker right on that right side of the thing, and that's exactly what he does. Yofi goes to the left, gets away from hardcore's user, and is able to pick up a good gain. Now a minute 20 left. Ball on the move. He's up to the 45-yard line of Penn State.
Nice play.
So it's going to be another one to Skowronek, and he's going to get some room. He's going to break some tackles. So Skowronek making some plays here late at the first half. And now he's moving the ball all in for this important score here to make this a 1-score possession. 1:13 left. He's going to move out right, give himself some little space. He's going to run it with Williams right up the middle. And it's going to be about a 5-yard gain there. 2nd and 5, ball now to the 18. 1 minute left. 1 timeout for Notre Dame.
He's really going to have to manipulate this clock, right? Like, that, you don't want him to have any time.
Yeah, right. I mean, you just don't want to give him any shots at all. But you also just got to get the points too. And the Book's got the middle wide open in the field. We know that Yofi's a little hesitant, but that was like stealing candy from a baby, taking that right up the middle. Everybody drops in coverage. That thing opened up, and perfect time to run book, slide, get down, no turnover, first and goal ball at the 4:57 seconds left. So we saw, once again, Yofi's taking the punches, right? Like, he's not – this thing is far from over. Only a 14-point game, 56 seconds left in the half, and he's going in here to make it a one-score possession. Once again, it's going to be Williams. Williams right up the middle. It's another touchdown. These two guys, I'm telling you, just a great job by Yofi of sticking to it, not panicking when he was down 14-0. And here we go. It's super important to get that touchdown. He needed to get it, but left a little bit of time on the clock for Penn State with 2 timeouts left. And we've seen Jordan get the returns today.
That's for sure. And if he's not getting the end zone, they're getting good field position. I sound like a broken record, but I would have played with that clock more.
Yeah, just kind of chewed clock a little bit there, and it's going to be Jordan again. Look at this blocking, though. I mean, it's just beautiful blocking by Penn State.
Oh, my God.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nike,
this is just
Jordan.
This guy is looking unstoppable. As good as Fields looked last night with Baker, I don't even know who this guy is for Penn State in real life. Who is this guy? Is he like a 99?
It's Journey Brown, I think.
Is it Journey Brown? But Journey Brown is okay, but
yeah, he's not this good. He's not this good.
Not this good. It's not like he's a 99, you know what I'm saying? But, oh, man, and Hottie's saying you got to squib that. You got to stop kicking it to him. I don't know what you do.
Now he's going to.
Just kick it out of bounds, right? Like, give him the ball at the 35 at this point. I mean, it's Pirates saying it's disrespectful. Yeah, but I think Chad's got it right. I just don't know. It's the blocking, though, about Penn State is just unbelievable.
Yeah, he didn't get touched.
Blocking.
He only had to miss the one tackle at like the 50-yard line.
He's just locking people up. But once again, 44 seconds. Can Yofi make something happen here with one timeout left? Book gets some pressure, rolls out, stumbles, bumbles, and it's going to be a sack at the 10. He's lucky he didn't fumble the football, to be honest. Yeah. It's going to be a 14-yard loss ball at the 11. I think now you just sit on the ball and call it a night. Man. And pray you can get it in the second half. And just a little dejected, as you can see Yofi just sick and tired of giving up, I think, kick returns at this point.
I mean, it's 17-17. You take those kick returns off the board. I mean, that's weird to say that because hardcore's really good on offense, but yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, yeah. I mean, it's a devastating blow to give up one kick return, but to give up 2.
Yeah.
And Penn State's going to start using timeouts here. Hardcore wants the ball back. It's going to be 3rd and 25. He's got one more, so it looked like he used a timeout there. No, he didn't use it on that one. So it's going to be 3rd and 25. And, yeah, I mean, Yofi's just going to down the ball, but I think he's just going to run the clock here and not allow him to use that timeout. And, I mean, I feel for Yofi. I don't know. I don't think we saw 2 kick returns out of hardcore tonight. That's a yeah. I mean, I think you got to feel really good. Obviously, if you're hardcore, you're up 14. You get the ball at halftime. And, man, I felt like we were going to get a close game there with that last drive from Yofi. And it's just the stack is like, oh, here we you know what I mean?
What are you going to do, right? Yeah. I don't really know. Like, what can I say? He's not getting it done on defense, though. Even, like I said, let's say he stops him at the 30. He's scored on every drive, even though he was held to the 1 field goal. Or did he have to punt? He punted.
He hasn't had a punt.
He didn't?
No, he's not had a punt. He had the turnover.
He had the fumble.
And then he held the field goal. So those are the only 2 stops right now for Yofi. You know, but the point is, if you make a guy drive, things like him running Jordan's going to run out of gas. He fumbles the football, but giving him 2 109-yard kick returns, I don't think was even in Yofi's
not in the game plan.
Right? It's not even in his head, right? Like, I'm going to kick this thing at the very back of the end zone, and he's going to fair catch it or he's going to down it. He's not going to bring that out. Okay, he got me once. He's not fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. You're not going to fool me twice, right? So, like, but he did, right? So it's yeah. I'm. That's maybe the most shocking thing about this this first half. So let's kind of run through here some other things, maybe get off these kick returns. But I don't know. What do you think about right now? Yofi I felt like he took the blows pretty well, but it just seems like Hardcore comes back with these haymakers.
Yeah. I still think he's gonna have to figure out a way to stop the run, because once you can stop the run, you force the pass. It gives you a shot. You know what I mean? Get the ball in the air. Yofi's one of the better defensive coaches, so it gives him a shot to maybe make something happen. He's killing him with those like flex bone misdirections. And I think it's easy to stop. Either get a guy in a QB contain or a buzz zone. Just get someone over on that edge.
Yeah, I mean, he might want to consider putting some more guys on the defensive line, right? I think he's running maybe 2-3 guys on the defensive line, relying on the linebackers and defensive backs, and it's just not working, right? Like, he's just getting to the edge. If you can stop it up front and maybe get some penetration there to shut off those counters, is an option. Man, I really don't know. Like, he's having success on offense, right? He's able to, if he's staying in the pocket, pick out the zone, looks good enough to make those throws. When Hardcore drops back in coverage, we saw, especially when he's in man, things open up. Book can run the ball. So that's not my worry. But like you're saying, it's that running to the outside and forcing Hardcore to actually drive the ball, right? Like, kick the ball out of bounds on your kickoff. Don't give this guy a chance to house another one. Give him the ball at the 35 and just see what you can do defensively. So here we go.
And he's kicking it out.
He's angling it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it on squib, but he's definitely kicking it to the sidelines. Just chucking it out of bounds. And, I mean, what else do you do, right?
You see Hardcore taking his hat off.
It's he's saying, okay, I want to tip my cap to you. Two strikes and you're out, as Michael Scott would say.
Did you already say "fool me once, shame on me; fool me twice"? Or
you can't fool me twice. That's the old. That's the old George Bush.
Yeah,
fool me once,
you
shame on me.
You can't get fooled again. You can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Oh, how the turntables!
How the turntables have turned. So here we go.
Mission accomplished.
Here we go. Nike Jordan again.
There you go.
Better stop. He only got 2 yards there. So he puts that defensive end, was able to make the tackle. It was close. He almost got the edge. But stops him to 2 yards. But that's a good start.
Here's my thing with this. So it's already the third quarter, and now Hardcore is going to say he hasn't had to adjust once. You know what I mean? So this is third quarter. He's going to be like, okay, now here's my counter, which I'm sure he has plenty of.
I mean, literally, he's not run anything
else.
Hardly else. So he's not had to, right? Like, that's the thing. He's not had to open up the playbook. He hasn't had to do anything different. Here we're going to see him drop back, and it's a little screen, halfback screen. Yofi kind of eats that up, and it's going to be a 3-yard loss, 3rd and 11. So he runs a screen, but it's definitely like a flare screen, gets him out on the edge, so it's not your typical screen. And, Yofi's got to feel good about that. Once again, only down 2 scores. He can get the stop here. He's going to take a couple of stops, we know, but he's gotten the turnover. And here you got to feel good after those 2 plays if he can hold him here to 3rd and long. This could be a deflating 3rd down conversion, though, for Yofi.
Yeah.
And he does. He gives it up, and he's just runs that curl, and it's wide open, and it's 1st and 10. So you had him 3rd and long and just couldn't seal the deal there. And there you see he just shakes it off like, dang, man, I had my shot there to maybe claw back in this game. It's going to be lots of throws now at a Hardcore. He breaks a tackle, and it's going to be to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Touchdown.
That's tough, right? Yeah. And it's just too much, right? It's
he stopped him once on the misdirection, and he threw it every play.
Stops him once on the misdirection, eats up the screen, gets it on 3rd and 1, bam, runs a curl, bam, runs just a little. It really wasn't a post, just that drag across the middle, that middle drag, and it's just wide open. And he houses it, breaks a couple of tackles, and now it's a 21-point game, and exactly what Yofi couldn't do, give up there, he gave up. So much like Baker, our runner-up last year, number 2 in the country, Ohio State put people on notice. Hardcore also, first 2 weeks of bye week. A lot of us picked Yofi to have a good year, putting everybody on notice here. And Book just nowhere to go.
Wow.
Man, 7-yard loss. What do you do? I don't. Where Yofi had all the time in the world in the first half, just nothing going here in the second half. There with that pressure. Book back, throws again, get a little space. Ooh, wow. And it's going to be a pick. Yeah, I mean, just had the coverage over there. You know, it worked the first time, but that time he's sitting in that zone. He gets the safety help. Safety comes over and picks that off, and there's another pick. And, I mean, we could be look at Hottie Toddy's like, thank you very much. I think I said this was going to be a blowout, and here we are, 21 points, another turnover ball now at the 42. And
I'm going to take a dip over to Yofi's chat, see how they're doing.
Oh, man, yeah, the RIP. Give them some love, give them some little encouragement over there. They're going to need it tonight because their boy is just getting skull drug here. It's going to be a 3-yard loss on the run. Ball now at the 45. So a good play there for Yofi. Going to be 4:52 left here in the third quarter. We got a 21-point game. See if Yofi can hold him to a field goal here again, maybe. Trying to keep this and bring some pressure right up the middle, and it's just good stick work to break it.
Wow.
And it gets it wide open to who else? But
was
the
that
man,
Nike Jordan?
Nike Jordan again. I think that's his
fourth touchdown.
At least 2 kick returns, a rush touchdown, and now let's put him on the board and give him a receiving touchdown. Just great stick work, right?
He's hitting for the cycle.
I mean, I think you can mark it down. Katie Barr in the door. The man is player of the game, folks. Like, if anybody else votes for anybody but Nike Jordan, just get out. Just go somewhere else. Get out.
No funny
other
player of the game.
options.
No funny candidates tonight. We're getting it to Nike Jordan.
No disrespect to our guy Bert. No punters on the thing. No Sheriff Odies to steal away the player of the game. It's just going to be straight. Just put one man's name on the board because you're only going to get one option, and it's Nike Jordan.
And that's funny, too, because after yesterday's game, I was like, Fields might be number 1 for Heisman. He's only played 1 game. And now Nike Jordan is doing everything.
Might climb the charts after this one. So it's a good run by Williams here. He's going to pick up 6 on the game. 45-17 now to a 28-point lead here for Penn State. LeVar Arrington filling up that gap. That's going to be a run for Williams. Going to be 3rd and inches.
Yeah, just nothing coming easy.
Just nothing. He's just making everything hard. Book's going to line up in the shotgun. Bring it in. It's pressure again, and it's going to be 4th and inches in the USC. The dip. Yofi's head just dips and says, ooh. Not great. So, I mean, he's got to at this point. Like, what difference does it make, right? Like, I might see a run up the middle here.
And this is a lot worse than their first meeting. I think it ended up being a 14-point game, but he was down 21, like basically.
I think it might have ended up being 35-21, like you said. He might have stolen one late. I mean, but it was close most of the game, right? This started out like this hasn't been close one iota. I mean, he got it to 14,
but then instantly he returns
7, and then he got it to 7, I guess, there right before half.
Wow.
But, the biggest swings right now, obviously, are those kick returns. We keep bringing those up, but I mean, that's just stealing points basically if you can get that. And just nothing coming easy for Yofi, like you said. And
are you picking against Hardcore the rest of the season?
I mean, how can I at this point? I apologize. I said Thursday was going to beat him, but there is nothing in this game that makes me think that Thursday is going to be Hardcore.
I said Rocky Top was going to beat him. Now I'm scared.
I don't see it. I haven't seen anybody play yet in this league that is able to hang. Now, listen, this is the deal. Anything can happen, right? Like, this is one game. This is one thing. You know, we know this guy puts in the work with this game. He does things that nobody else thinks. Here he drops in coverage, and it's going to be a drop. And Yofi's just sick to his stomach, right?
Yeah, that's a killer. Come on.
That's getting a little bit NCAA there. Third and long, third and 24. You get a guy open to get the first down, and he drops it. That's a killer. But we've seen him win, and we can see who's up for Yofi on the schedule. We got Mac Dub, who I know is in the chat. Holler. We got Fantasy after that in week 5, Chuckleberry week 6, Rocky Top week 7, D's in 8, and Kaz in 12. So he gets a couple of bye weeks there for 8, 9, and 10. So he'll go on a 3-week break, and Book's going to roll out. Just there's no way he's going to be able to complete this. It's going to be a prayer, and it's just going to be another turnover. So.
And we know Hardcore's going to keep getting points here. He's not going to.
I mean, he's going to get every single point. He's not going to bring anybody out. I mean, we talked about this is a bit of a rivalry, right? Like Yofi wanted this one. Yofi had this one circled.
Yeah. And he did all the talking, right? Like Yofi's the one, Hardcore kind of was just saying, okay, let's see what you got. And here we go.
It's going to line up in a little bit of a pistol, and it's going to be a pass. Oh, and it should have been a pick there. So Yofi's had a couple of tough breaks on the drops here, right? He has that first down drop, and now he's got this interception drop. And we saw that against Stoner, right? He had his defensive backs dropped about 4 sure picks, no doubt about it. So a little bit of a struggle for the DBs for Notre Dame. We're going to see maybe a little bit of a weak spot there for Yofi defensively is holding on to that ball.
Yeah.
But that's why they say they don't play wide receiver, they play cornerback, right? And safety.
He was complaining all week in practice that he wanted to play wide receiver. This is why you're not on offense.
Son, let me tell you something. You drop the wide open catches that we've got to have. You're not going to play on offense.
Yeah, he really can't catch a break. He that fumble. And if you get honestly, if you're telling me going into a game I'm going to get a fumble, I'll take that over whatever else is happening.
Yeah, I mean, to think that he got that big turnover and then just turned right back around and threw that pick, I mean, it's just killer, right? Like, to give the ball right back and then to give it right back to him in, better field position pretty much.
Sheesh.
Yeah. As Pirate said, he tucked his wife into bed and he came back to this. He's trying to figure out what happened. Well, we had another turnover, another touchdown by Nike Jordan. And then a 4th down stop for Hardcore on 4th and 24. And he's just dejected. He's like, I can't catch a break here, literally. And a little bit like Nasty last night, right? Like he just kind of got to the point where he was like, I'm sick of this crap. Like, I can't get anything to go my way. And, both of these guys, the 2 nights in a row, just put people on notice, I think, in the league.
It's like, too, you're already down 28, probably not going to win. But then your guys dropping huge 3rd down catches, wide open interception. It's just
it's just
that cherry on top.
I don't think Auburn might be in Hardcore's chat, Auburn Blazer, but it's like kicking a man while he's down. The man sends out a tweet criticizing, of all teams, Tennessee's football schedule. He's like, if you saw a Power 5 playing Pitt, I don't even know who we play. They're so bad. I think Southern Alabama.
Come on, they get it off here.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, really, of all the teams at this point to pick out the schedule, we're going to go 12-0 first off. We're going to be lucky to win those 4 out of
Big E Mix! Big E
Mix! Just breaking tackles. That's his 2nd touchdown on
that was, I mean, come on, man. That was pretty
good. That was good. That was good, right? He's just takes the hit. Get off of me. Give him a little leap, and it's going to be 51-17, pending an extra point.
50 burger. This is oof. It's only the 3rd quarter.
I got to be honest, guys. This was some were calling this the game of the year. We called it the game of the week. We called it. Some were bold enough to call it the game of the century. I didn't go that far. I just called it the game of the week. man, and I'm telling you, it just didn't work out that way tonight. And Hardcore was locked in early and just hasn't looked back, and clicking on all cylinders. Everything's working out for him, and it's making it look a little bit too easy. So, and I'm interested to see how Yofi's going to bounce back from this. I mean, this is a gut wrenching kind of loss to have, right? Like, you've played pretty well the first 2 games. Power would criticize him for Kyron Williams again with an.
And he cannot catch a break now.
No, I mean, it's just when it rains, it pours, and I might consider putting in my backups at this point. So, and Hottie's right. Some of us were willing to call it a blowout, and he was absolutely right about that.
And no, he wouldn't say who was going to win. It doesn't count. He
didn't say it doesn't count. He didn't say he was going to win, but it was a blowout. Yeah, it's just it's really shocking, right? And it gives you respect to know that, hey, man, this Penn State roster isn't as good as that Oklahoma roster. And
same team for Yofi.
Same team for Yofi, and it literally didn't make a lick of difference. And maybe there's a little bit of extra oomph out of Hardcore, this being his team. And I mean, this one feels like it's over, and there's still a minute left in the third quarter, because that's kind of where we're at with this thing, right? Like, poor Yofi has to endure another quarter. And as we put it in the chat there, just a reminder, as we've got the ribbon up on the thing, it's okay. That's kind of what we're supporting, is the mental health, and so if you don't mind, if you're able to, we would appreciate any donations you can make towards that cause. And mental health is a tough thing to deal with sometimes, and just know we're here to talk and have discussions with you. Anybody in the Discord, somebody wants to put that link in there for the Discord. Tons of guys in there. You can reach out to, I know any of these guys who stream in this league are willing to talk and discuss anything that you guys are going through that might be difficult. Just somebody to lean on for some advice. And it's a big touchdown there as we talk about that for Yofi. So he's not giving up. He's not throwing in the towel. He's going to try to get as many points as he can here. And that was a big one for Book. It's another dot, really.
Skoronek again. So I think I have our 4 guys. It's going to be player of the game poll. It's going to be, and I'm pretty sure I know who it is. Who we got? It's probably going to be Nike Jordan, Big E Miggs, Ian Book, and then Skoronek.
Yeah, I would absolutely second that. If you've got any other suggestions, you can always put it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll always consider those. Look for that to be on Twitter. That'll be on Emig's Twitter. I'm sure G12 will also retweet that for the poll. And there's Hardcore's channel, as we know, and then Yofi's as well. Just Yofi_. It's going to be a drop back. It's going to be another curl route, and it's going to be wide open. I mean, it's just when everything is going right. Everything is going right. Now we're up to 58, and it's just a simple curl route, and they can't make the play. It wasn't anything fancy. You just watch the replay here, guys. It's just, stops, turns. He can't make the play on the edge, and that's what we see. So we might see Yofi's got it on pause here.
He's quitting.
That would be the first.
He's just like, I'm done.
Succession, yeah, like I'm out. So, but like I was saying earlier, any of these 12 streamers are there for you guys. We're here as commentators. If you ever want to discuss anything that's going on, lots of those guys. You think of Chuck and D specifically. Always say that. Nasty. All these guys. You can see Yofi has a great following, great community. Thrizzy has a great community. There's not one guy in here. Fantasies has a great community. All of these guys, I could go through it all. I was in Kaz's chat today. Kaz does a great stream. There's not one guy in here. Rocky has a great stream. Literally not one player in this league that wouldn't be there for you. And and I think that's just so important, and that's why we're supporting that this month. So drop that dono if you can, or reach out to us. And it's going to be LeVar Arrington with the big tackle there. That's right. It's LeVar Arrington, folks. He's back. He's got a little bit of different hairdo. Looks a bit different, but that middle linebacker makes a big play. So he had 1 year of eligibility left, maybe.
Sorry, I'm getting this poll up.
Yeah, no problem. It's going to be a curl out here to Austin Jr., who's also had a good game. There takes another reception. It's going to be 3rd and 5. As we're probably going to round out the third quarter here. Yofi's going to try to get one more snap in. I'm going to put I got that notification. I'm going to put in that vote. And I'm going to be the first voter, and I'm already going to vote as a commentator for Naki Jordan. It's got to be done, folks.
Yeah, I think
so. Again, another pass there to Austin Jordan Jr.
My son's up there, my namesake, but I'm okay voting Naki Jordan today.
That's true. Your son did. Big E Mix had a good game, but man, Naki Jordan was dynamic. And there's the poll in the chat, guys. So going over to Twitter and. Yeah, absolutely. Power, you're absolutely right. Some of the fans are that big buttholes. Taking another little bit of a break here, trying to figure things out. 59-24, Hardcore and Penn State. He's the one on the bottom. Yofi, Notre Dame on the top there.
Wow. I think both coaches should pop this thing into conservative.
Run it into conservative or run up the score? That's the question. And of course, we got another game tomorrow night, guys. Another great one. Stoner Gainer and Clemson traveling to Miami and Thrizzy at 8 o'clock Central. So we'll be here in the G12 for that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Pirate and Kaz on that call, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that might be Kaz's first commentary. So check that out. That'll be his first one. There with Pirate. He gets the pleasure of calling a game with Pirate. As we can see, the difference between commentator Pirate and chat Pirate, those are two different people, but we love them both. And it's going to be a 4-yard gain here. The screen worked. Hey, he was able to run the screen. It didn't go for a pick, so take what you will out of that.
That's a win.
That's a win, right? And you didn't lose any yardage, so you gained 4, actually. And it's going to be book, drop back again, just a lot of throws and just gets eaten up. Just nowhere to go. The pocket kind of collapses at 3rd and 13. Here with about
Chat Pirate.
6
Chat left. Pirate is ass cancer.
Yeah, you've been pretty good lately. You haven't been trolling as much. Say what
I was going to say old Chat Pirate.
Old Chat Pirate. We kind of got a glimpse of the Big Ten standings there. As some guys haven't played still, like Rocky Top and things like that, and SEC standings like Oklahoma State, South Carolina, Cincinnati, Clemson, Missouri, and then Penn State. Now we'll go to 0-0. Is still this is a non-conference game for them. So you can kind of see the standings there as they'll start to shape up as we get to these in-conference games. Some of these guys haven't played a conference game, so.
This game pretty much in the books, but we got a whole quarter. John, looking forward on the season. This was my number one guy to have a chance to take down Hardcore. Who would you say are the guys? You mentioned Thursday earlier. Who would you say are your guys that can take him out?
Baker looked good. Okay, Baker looked good. That was before there were any games, Thursday. Calm down. I put that pressure on you a long time ago. That was my preseason pick after I'd not even seen you play in this league with Miami. So, but yeah, Baker looked good, right? And Baker, the game was competitive in the national championship game last year. We haven't seen Rocky play in this league. We know he plays a lot of games. He sandbags himself and says he's mediocre at best. But we know he plays this game a lot, knows a lot, and plays a lot of user games, which I think is an advantage. You know, the best player that I've personally seen Hardcore play and lose to was you should have tapped, right? He was a guy from our Christmas tournament, but Hardcore was super close to beating him. He came back. I mean, it was a shootout. So, you know, I think any given weeknight in this league, somebody can take a loss with all these user games. It takes you know, turnovers or some mistakes. Those I would probably put those guys at the top. Hey man, I mean Mac has looked pretty good with that Oklahoma State team, and I know he's not going to love to hear that, but you know, that's there's a very good pick.
Turnover
You know,
chain. Turnover chain.
so
Turnover chain.
honestly, man, I think any of these guys, Kaz, I think looked good against these this week. You know, depending on how these guys evolve and things like that, it can depend. So, who do you think? I mean, what do you got on your radar for that?
I mean, I've already been vocal about it. I think definitely Rocky Top for the reasons you mentioned. He's just basically that's my number one reason is he's playing against those guys like Tapt and Jay Deshawn in online dynasties. He says he's not beating them, but I think he said he's had some close games with them, which if I have a close game with one of those guys, I'm feeling really good.
And I'm
like
feeling
you said,
really good.
Yes, I mean, you said Hardcore didn't beat him. He had a close game. So if I'm on that, you know what I mean? If I'm on that level, then right there, that makes me think Rocky Top can do it. I also think, I mean, it's the guys like you said. I think Thrizzy has a chance. I think Rocky Top. And then, yeah, there's the new guys. Like, Kaz looked really good the other night against D's. He was down 4. If I'm down 14, I'm either
Man, I'm like, you know, I'm down in the dumps. I'm like, screw this crap. This guy's way too.
It's that, or I'm pissed off. It's like I'm pissed off and I'm going to be making stupid, angry plays.
Yeah,
you know
I'm just
what I mean?
Start chucking the ball down the field, rolling out right, chucking the ball down the field, and for verts, right? Like, that's what most humans do. But to be able to show that composure and continue to run your game plan, I think is so important.
But I think
a shout out if you missed it tonight. But we got the big board with E-Migs every Wednesday night at 7:45 Eastern. That was on right before this game. Great show. We had Rocky on going through recruiting, so that'll be every week, and we'll have a coach on there each week going through their team. Sorry to cut you off there. Go ahead, E-Migs.
I was just gonna say, and it's funny we're mentioning him, but we're not pushing it hard enough as Baker. Like I feel like we're still overlooking Baker even after that game last night.
No,
I
mean, I think he put some people
on
notice, right? Yeah,
and he looked good against Hardcore. He got down early, but he won the second half. He outscored him in the second half. So I think if he can practice more and get into a regular routine, he has a real shot.
I mean, you think about that. I mean, you know, how much time did he put in? You know, we know that he's not been streaming much, but he's going to get, you know, he said he's going to try to start streaming 3 times a week. Is the job change for him has kind of put him at a disadvantage there for that. If he can continue to run that team and get some on, you know, some outside of Dynasty user games and pick up some scrimmages and things like that with the Ohio State team, you would imagine he's only going to get better. That game with Baker isn't until later. You know, it's not like next week or anything. So, there we see Yofi's not throwing in the towel, still moving the ball now inside the 5. Once again, this is it's week 7 he's got with Baker. So we know week 6 and 7 are just stacked with user games. That being said, guys, if you guys are interested in helping out in any way, those guys who aren't involved, you know, we got about 31 people in here. If you're not involved, we'd love to have you try some commentary, get involved with maybe some production if you can. If you're a streamer but aren't involved in this league, you know, I know we could use some help with that. Anything at all that you might want to do to help the G12, we'd encourage it. And so it's a big touchdown for Yofi. It's going to make it 59-31, so just maybe a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, and he's still working on stuff.
I want you guys
like,
to look in the chat right now, E-Migs. We got a Stokes the Beast, so we got a Toke sighting here. He's saying he's wanting to commentate, because where has that guy been? You must have been busy. We're missing you up here, big guy.
uh-oh.
Feed the beast, right? We miss your energy in the booth. You missed a great season so far, calling some games.
Yeah. Always
Yeah,
love to
Yovi
have
tried
the
to
beast
steal
in the booth.
a bit of squib there, it looked like. Yeah, we'll definitely need you by week 6, big guy. That's 6 games a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tokes, this is all user games, man. No more, I mean, I know this is a blowout, so my point's not going to stand. But I was going to say it should be a lot more exciting of games, so we're not going to be.
Just a dagger. Look at
Wow.
this. Just the backups.
Never mind.
I mean, he takes a sip of his drink like I could do this blindfolded.
Oh, he took out Big E Migs.
He did. He put in the backups. He doesn't want to get you hurt, you know. He doesn't want to get the son hurt. He's just looking after the safety of the student athletes. That's going to make it 66. I'm not 100% sure, guys, what our league record is in a user game, but I'm pretty sure 66 is there.
Oh, it's got it. Yeah. I mean, D's blew out fantasy, but it was only
D's blew out fantasy.
A defensive performance.
That was a defensive battle. It was 38. Last season, it seems like somebody had one. It was maybe Clemson and Sharp put up quite a bit of points in a user game close to this.
But I think it was both teams had a lot of points, right? It wasn't
both teams had a lot of points.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't a blowout. It was a back and forth. Sounds good, Tugs. We're looking forward to it. Yeah, man, we've had a good season so far. This is definitely the last 2 nights have been really the biggest lopsided victories that we've had. I mean, like you mentioned, we did have that D's game last week with Fantasy in Texas, but you still got the starters in, and Book took a nasty hit. I really hope he doesn't get anybody hurt at this point. That's kind of what you got to worry about in a 66-31 game with your starters in with 2 minutes left, taking big hits.
Yeah. So I guess another big picture. I mean, obviously Nike Jordan's number 1 for me. Who are you thinking? Who's been your standout just players so far? Heisman guys.
There's a pick.
Nice pick.
Yeah, it was a
Turnover
good
chain.
there.
Turnover chain. Turnover chain.
Yeah, I mean,
Turnover
obviously
chain.
Nike Jordan tonight. I think we saw Fields have a great game. We've seen to this point Kyron Williams have a good season so far. Blackman, Kaz with Blackman looked really good, right? He's looked really good with him. I think he's starting to really figure out how to utilize him in the best way. And
Miami, both the running back and the quarterback
both, Frizzy will have to give us the names because I
got it.
remember,
I got it. I remember.
You got it. Yeah.
Hated Greatness and D-Bog Nasty.
Let's not forget about Big Al's workout.
Oh, yeah.
Looked good. As well as
what's the quarterback? Spread D.
Spread D. Yeah, as we know, he always every guy he makes he uses the number 77 at quarterback, and I love it. Spread D does. Is a good friend of Mac. He's looked really good so far. Those are the guys.
About 10 guys. Yeah.
10 guys, I think, are so far. I think Nike Jordan's probably moved up the list.
I mean, he's number 1 for me after 1 game. For sure.
Yeah,
just the way that Hardcore's utilized him off the corner, kick return. I'll be interested to see who's gonna kick to D's. Is Rocky gonna kick to? Is Rocky gonna kick it to Hardcore next week? Right, like with these.
I just realized Notre Dame is only beating Nike Jordan by 3.
That is a tough stat. Rocky says, I'll kick it. I'll kick it out of bounds is what I mean. I know you're going to kick the ball, Rocky, but it looks like he's going to kick it to Nike Jordan. he's going to trust in his return team.
So there we go.
Of course, playing with Tennessee, and as we can see there down to the bottom, guys, you can always follow that bottom scroll. It'll give you who's in what and their Twitch channel and all that kind of good stuff. Bert always doing great with the production. So that'll do it. Kiss it good night. Ended up being 66-31 in favor of Hardcore and Penn State. So we were hoping for a close one, a great one. It didn't happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm most shocked about is, honestly, now that I think about it, I think my two ideas of how this game was going to go was either a battle or Hardcore blows them out. Like, I didn't think Yofi was going to blow out Hardcore. So it kind of makes sense how it went, but still, I didn't see 2 kick return touchdowns coming. And he just looked good all around, good on offense, good on defense. Why does my camera does this in the post game every time? It's like only the post game.
It freaks out. I don't know. It hates the post game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was a little bit of a shocker probably for us, but man, you just put everybody on notice. You saying, "Hey, I'm the champ. Everybody settle down. This isn't going to be a close game. I'm going to blow the brakes off." And I think we've got the coach here in the chat,
Hello?
Mr. Hardcore himself, HardcoreCFB. How's it going,
How you guys
man?
doing? I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys doing? How was the call?
Doing good. Can everybody hear him okay in chat?
Got to make sure. Last night we
Make
had.
sure. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, Hardcore, give us your rundown of the game. How'd you feel?
You know, I felt pretty good, obviously. I mean, whenever you win a game 66-31, doesn't matter who the opponent, you're going to feel pretty good about it. No, I feel really good. I tell you what, I try to hint and nudge a little bit on Sunday that we had some playmakers, and of course, you guys now know who that is, Mr. Nike Jordan. He's a real deal. I'm glad he had a good coming out party, and yeah, I'm glad that we were able to start on the right foot. You know, we've been waiting around for 2 weeks, just kind of playing with myself, and I finally get a chance to play. And kind of sucked that we had to play Yofi first, but you know, obviously, I'm happy with the outcome.
I mean, Coach, Nike Jordan. I mean, no one saw that coming. Obviously, did you know? By the way, is that Journey Brown?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's he's a true on track star. I mean, back in high school, I think he ran like a 10-some 100-meter. Yeah, he's lightning fast.
So that's what I was gonna ask. Is if I didn't know he was that good in real life, is he really like? Is this something you saw coming from him, or at least expected that he was capable of?
Yeah, I mean, once I saw because I didn't even know. I had no idea how. Well, first off, I didn't know if Micah Parsons was going to be on the team or not, and I didn't even know like how the ratings of these players going in. Obviously, I hope that Journey Brown was going to be fast. I knew he was a track star at Penn State, and so yeah, I was obviously looking forward to that. Once I saw that his speed was that high, I was like, hell yeah, we're going to take advantage of that. And well, I think we made it through one half with people kicking us the football, but I don't think that's going to happen the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Not true. Your opponent next week said he will kick it normal. At least, we think he's going to at least kick it normal once. The thing that shocked me about that, let's talk about those kick returns.
I lost John.
What's that?
Okay, I can hear John.
Can you hear me?
I didn't know if John said something or not. I
was just saying, let's talk about those 2 kick returns. Not only were they shocking that you were able to house 2 today, but let's talk about you actually return those from the literal back of the end zone. Like you couldn't have had a longer kick return.
Yeah.
What kind of insanity are you thinking? Most of us just are like, okay, let's just take the ball at the 25. What are you thinking when you're like, oh, I'm going to take this one every time?
Well, I knew that, you know, obviously after the first one, I knew that he had the ability, so you might as well risk it. But I'm always under the belief, I mean, 5-10 yards to my offense, I mean, not to sound too arrogant, but that's not going to make a difference on whether or not I score. So might as well take a chance. If I get stopped at the 12 or the 18, so be it. But if it's a 5 or 10% chance that I score, let's roll those dice. Let's take a shot at it. And thankfully, that paid off big time in a big way today. So obviously, I'm glad I did it.
Coach, no bias here. I also wanted to touch on some of that quarterback play from Big E Miggs, that awesome run. I think it was the second quarter where he broke like 4 tackles.
Yeah, no, that might have been in the third quarter. Yeah, I tell you what, that whole drive, if I was Yofi, I'd be super pissed because that drive was like the most demoralizing drive. I threw that corner route. I think it was Kyle Hamilton got over there. Should have picked it off. He didn't. And then 2 plays later, Big E Miggs rumbles and bumbles his way through 3 guys into the end zone. I was like, man, if I'm Yofi, I'm fucking pissed right now. So, yeah, that was a demoralizing drive for him. But yeah, Big E Miggs, like he's not Spencer Rattler or anything like that, but he's got a little boogie in him.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's talk about what were you most pleased out of this game? I mean, there's a lot to talk about that went right for you tonight, but what do you think you're most proud out of this team and this performance?
Starting fast, probably the biggest thing I was happy of. You know how we started a little bit slow last year a lot of times. Not necessarily in the national championship, but there was weeks where, we were only up by 7 or even up by 4 or even losing. So the fact that we came out of the gate super fast pleases me. I mean, the fact that we got a 3-and-out on defense right off the bat, that really set the tone right out of the gate. So that was big time. To get up 14-0, if you can tell me I have an opportunity to get 14 points on anybody in the G12, I mean, I'm taking that, taking that bet right away. So starting fast was the big thing. We took care of the football, but man, we ran the ball extremely well. He knew we were going to run it, and we were still able to run it. And that's very has me feeling very optimistic moving forward.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that misdirection. Sorry, John. We saw a lot of that misdirection run coming from you, and me and John were talking about it. Basically, it didn't get shut down until the third quarter, and so that's why I was kind of just like in awe of the fact that you didn't really have to make any adjustments on offense till that play got shut down for the first time, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I got lucky a couple times too, as far as like when you're doing this stuff, when you're playing at this level, especially against a guy that like Yofi, we're basically guessing and taking educated guesses on what we think the other guy's going to do. And when you do that misdirection stuff, like I set him up a couple of times, like near side of this field, I went, towards the near side instead of the wide side. Just things like that, just especially early on, or when I had that big run on that first drive, or maybe it was a second drive that set up. I don't know how he didn't score, but it was like at the 1 yard line, and I had him come in motion again, and I ran E-Migs up the middle. Like just things like that, just little setups go a long way. And then obviously once he did shut down the run, and I was running every time on first down, I came back with that play action right over the middle to Lambert Smith, and he broke a tackle and he housed it. So just those little things, like just kind of getting lucky and taking advantage of him, starting to figure out your rhythm, taking that, and using it against him. That's kind of all I did there.
Well, I think that's going to be all for us tonight. Coach, congratulations on the first win after those 2 bye weeks, and good luck next week against Rocky. We're looking forward to it. And just so you guys know, if you jump over to Hardcore Stream, you might be able to get a merch. I think you're doing a giveaway still, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to probably play some Frisco State, and I'll be doing a giveaway here probably after the raid, I guess.
So there you go, guys. We'll go ahead and call it a night. So it's a 66-31 win for Penn State and Hardcore over Yofi and Notre Dame. Hotty Toddy thought that's what was going to happen. We're going to go raid Hardcore and enter yourself into a chance to win some merch.
Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Fantastic job.
No problem.
Yeah, good win, man.